welcome to Trinity Update. If you're a regular viewer, you must be kind of wondering what on earth is going on Trinity Update with all of these props and dustbins, etc. Well, the whole world is talking about going green, but I think for most people it's a very vague kind of concept. People really don't know what to do, how to understand it, etc. So my guests today are going to help us to understand a little bit more about that and maybe to help us to get involved in some way. So I have Victor Porter and Nikita Poonkong here with me today. So welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, so tell us all about, let's see, you have on your shirts with your logo,
Yes.
Plastikeep and the Green Fund. And we have a Plastikeep bin in our cup, was it living water? So tell us, give us some background to all of this.
Background on Plastikeep. Plastikeep started is a brainchild of Rosanna Farmer, our current project director. Back in 2006, she was working on a film called I Spy Recycling with Elspeth Duncan. And it was about children who were collecting plastic, and the plastic that they collected was taken to a recycling facility to be processed. And then Rosanna came up with the idea, well, if these children can do it, everyone can. Fast forward to 2008, she submitted an application to the Green Fund for funding, and in December 2009, they approved it, and January 2010, funding was disbursed, and we had an official launch. Yeah, we had an official launch in May of 2010. The concept behind Plastikeep was one, to see if Trinidadians are really ready to recycle, if they're given the opportunity and if they're given education and awareness. And what we found overwhelmingly, people are ready to recycle. They just need to be given the education and awareness and the opportunity to recycle. We started with bins in communities. We also started with a curbside collection in one community just to test which one is going to yield more. And surprisingly, the curbside collection yields a lot more, but it's a little more costly to do the curbside collection. At the end of the project, which ran for 1 year, we collected roughly about 66,000 pounds of plastic.
Wow.
Yep, and that was from communities, households, and schools. And we had an overwhelming demand from communities outside of our pilot area, because we pilot tested in Diggle Martin. A lot of communities asked for Plastikeep to come back into their communities, or to start into their communities. And that led into our phase 2. We did another application, submitted to the Green Fund for this time for 3 years. So Plastikeep phase 2, it runs for 3 more years, where we expand our geographic reach. We're now going everywhere from Laventille West. So it's Laventille, Port of Spain, Belmont, St. James, all the way down to Chaguaramas.
So this is a serious thing, boy.
It is a very serious.
And it should be, because it's a serious problem in the world.
It is. Plastic is a very serious problem.
I mean, I know, like going down the islands, and then, as a child or a young person going down the islands, and everything was pristine and clean. And then you go down these days, and, as the tides change, you see these islands of plastic. It is so heartbreaking.
That's an apt description of it, because I don't think you can express how much plastic is out there unless you describe it as an island, and that's exactly what it is. There are these large islands of plastic. What unfortunately happens is that the currents sweep these out into the larger currents, and it forms a larger island called the Pacific Garbage Patch, which we've been told is estimated to be about the size of Texas. So it's not here; it's also out there as well.
And there's more than one as well. So it's all about tides and that sort of thing. And so it is a serious issue. It's affecting marine life as well. Seriously, lots of implications of that. Because the plastics break down into smaller plastics, it doesn't actually go away. It stays in the environment. What happens after that is the marine life just eats that. They're not sure what it is. They mistake it for food. That happens, and so you're looking at smaller fish from the small bottom of the food chain to the top, smaller fish to the bigger fish, and then we in turn eat that. So we actually have plastics. There's about 93% of humans, I believe, have plastics in their system right now. So,
Yuck.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to come back and ask you about how the two of you got involved in all of this, but I know we have a very interesting video clip, so I think maybe if we look at that, and that'll give us some information, and we'll come back and discuss that.
what Plastikeep is? It's not just a plastic recovery project, it's a way of life. Plastikeep. That means plastic I keep.
We live in a plastic world and everything has got out of hand. It has just got out of hand and people use plastic and discard it indiscriminately.
Start keeping your plastic instead of throwing it away. Let's show you how, the Plastikeep way.
My name is Frida Arajo. I live in Victoria Gardens. Have you ever heard of plastic recycling? Well, I have now heard about it and I find it such a good project. So I collect all my plastic at home instead of just throwing plastics into the garbage. I collect them at home and deal with them in the proper way so that they can be used for recycling. First of all, you have to identify the plastics and you put those aside.
So I just put in the covers.
You can remove the caps. There are different types of plastics, so you put those separately. Rinse them, make sure that they're clean, just to rinse off any food stuff or anything that might be on them. Crush them as far as possible so that will take up less space. And then you can put them in the Plastikeep bag. In our area, we have a truck that comes, so we put it out on the side of the road where the truck can come and pick it up. Just make sure that it's only clean plastic inside of that bag.
Hi, Keegan.
Hi, you do.
Cadell and I are on this Glen Drive. We joined up with this company called Plastikeep, and they have nominated us community leaders. So what they're actually trying to do is make people more aware of recycling plastics and a whole, because a lot of plastics we use, water bottles, sweet bottles, egg cartons, the containers that we take Chinese food out in, like what you're eating up there from, you know, all those things can be recycled. Even the plastic bags that we use when we get groceries from Hilo, all of that can be recycled. Even though it says biodegradable on the outside of the bag, it degrades into this little powder, and when it burns in the dump, it still lets out this carbon emission, this really toxic stuff that can be really bad for us. When the breeze takes it, it gets into our lungs, and Lord alone knows what kind of madness goes on in here. So this is a flyer of the way that they want us to go. You keep your plastic bottles, take off the cork, you rinse it out, you crush it so that it makes it more compact in the bag, and you put it in your clear plastic bags like what Cadell has. So when it comes to your juice bottles, your sweet drink bottles, your water bottles, your bleach, fabric softeners, you name it that says plastic, it could be recycled. The number one question that a lot of people ask is, what is in it for me? But you don't need to have anything in it for you. You're supposed to feel good knowing that you're doing something to save the environment. And that's supposed to be satisfaction enough to know that you're doing your part and you're educating people to help.
Keep your plastic. Remove bottle caps and put them in a separate bag. Rinse your plastic. Crush your plastic. Put all plastics, including bottle caps, in the transparent bags. Throw your large plastic bag in the Plastikeep bin. Thank you for helping Plastikeep keep TNT clean. Visit our website, plastikeep.com, for more info.